the instrument used to restrict or which is imposed on import. And quota is also uh, a trade restriction that is imposed, also can be imposed on imports. But tariff is an amount you need to pay. Quota is the quantity, a limit on quantity you can bring in. Embargo is a total ban of a commodity being imported into a country. And then we have exchange control. This is a very intelligent means of controlling importation or exportation. So the central bank or the monetary authority of a country has a stock of foreign exchange it gives out when people want to buy. For instance, if you want to get dollars, most of the dollars belong to or are kept by the central bank, which it gives to banks, and some forex bureaus also go to get these foreign exchanges. So if the central bank does not want people to import, it will intentionally decide to not release the foreign exchange so that people will not get dollars in their hands to import. So that is also another. And administrative control. If the government wants to discourage importation, it can intentionally make the processes one must go through to import goods and services become very bureaucratic, so that people will be discouraged from importing. For instance, if you are importing something, maybe the government can decide to make you fill long form. It must go through about 8 offices before the importation can be approved or something. All these are administrative control. And the next is export tax. The government wants to restrict some particular products from being exported out of the country. What the government can do is it will increase the export tax, make it very high. On the other hand, if the government wants to, if the government wants to encourage people to export, it will reduce the export tax. So tariff, quota, embargo, exchange control, administrative control, export tax, all these are trade restrictions. Alright, so why do countries restrict trade? Countries restrict trade because of the disadvantages of trade we mentioned earlier. So infant industries are likely to be crippled. Saving domestic job arguments. When infant industries are crippled, a lot of people will be laid off. So to check unemployment, countries try to restrict trade. And the next is foreign subsidy argument. For instance, some of the countries we import goods from, their goods are very cheap because their governments have given them subsidies for them to be able to produce and sell at a very cheap price. So countries may restrict trade when they realize that the countries that are sending their products into our country, it is not that their products, they are able to produce their products in some way our country is unable to produce, but probably their government has given them subsidies, some subsidies. So these subsidies will advise government to put some policies together so that their products they want to dump or they want to throw into our country at a very low price, which will compete with our infant industries and will make Ghana not a very good place to be. These can be kept by the government imposing trade restrictions. The last is anti-dumping argument. Actually, dumping is a country that is most of the times an advanced or developed country that tries to throw all its commodities, sometimes second-hand commodities, sometimes not really second-hand, but commodities that are commanding very cheap prices. They throw or put these products into developing countries, and that does not help developing countries, does not help their citizens to even become entrepreneurs. For instance, Ghana, we don't really produce cars. It's only Apostle Kwejisafu who has tried to produce a number of cars. We don't really produce cars because instead of we spending time to produce, many people are importing accident cars. They will bring it and the mechanics will just repair it, and that's all, instead of producing car in Ghana. So such commodities, some of them are very harmful to the environment and all others. They are dumped on our nation and it doesn't help. So people argue having dumping as their premise, having foreign subsidies given by governments of these foreign countries as their premise. Some also um, argue against trade because many jobs are likely to be lost, and also infant industry are likely to be crippled when trade is liberalized. And we have a number of trade regimes. International trade regimes are framework or argument